Hi class, I want to take a moment to talk about virtual machines and virtualization. I think this might be very helpful to you with your career and your course work. So what is a virtual machine? It's a completely separate individual operating system, or it could be a network operating system that's installed on your usual operating system. It's implemented by software emulation and hardware virtualization. So the virtual machine is a software implementation of a physical machine or computer that works and executes um, exactly to it. With that, then, the virtual machines are divided into two categories based on their use and correspond to real machine systems, virtual machines, and process virtual machines. The first category provides a complete system platform that executes the complete operating system. The second one will run a single program. Frequently, multiple virtual machines with their own operating systems are used in server consolidation, where different services are run in a separate virtual environment but on the same physical machine. The multiple operating uh, system environments can exist simultaneously on the same machine or isolate where they're isolated from each other. The virtual machine can offer an instruction set architecture that differs from the real computers, such as a Mac or Windows. So you could have a Windows with a virtual machine that's running OS 10, for example, or it could be Linux. You have easy maintenance, application provisioning, availability, and convenient recovery. With that, then you have centralized network management. You're reducing the dependency on additional hardware and software, etc., so you can save money. When multiple virtual machines are simultaneously running on a host computer, each virtual machine may introduce an unstable performance, which depends on the workload of the system by the other running virtual machines. Virtual machine is not as efficient as a real one when accessing the hardware itself. Virtual programs such as VMware, ESX, Microsoft Hyper-V do not feature USB and serial ports in the virtual machines. With that, then you can't access your USB without special configuration. Key thing about this is going to be less hardware to run the same type and amount of software, which brings down the cost overall. You're going to have lower energy consumption since you're running less computer hardware to accomplish the same type of work. Your familiar interfaces would be the virtual machines are built in to mimic physical ones, so that you should never have any idea that you're running on a virtual machine. The virtual networks include virtual NICs, virtual switches, and so on. Other than being able to physically move the server, you receive similar experience and performance on a virtual network that you would with physical servers. You have high availability by distributing load across virtual machines. Virtual hosts are able to ensure high availability of applications and data. Even if one server fails, another virtual machine can be spun up with minimal downtime or data loss itself. Scalability, when you look at that, then the virtual machines allow scalability on demand without adding physical resources, and they can be expanded much easier than in a physical machine. Adding additional RAM to a virtual machine can be done in a few minutes, while it can be up to a day's work for a physical machine. When you look at the backup and easy recovery, then the virtual machine and cloud computing offer powerful solutions for data backup and recovery. Even if the hardware should fail, virtual machines can instantaneously and accurately migrate the data to working hardware with little or no downtime. Simple data recovery is another great advantage of this technology. For instance, if you have a virtual server suddenly becomes corrupt, then you can simply delete it and restore it from its virtual backup. You don't need to spend time and effort on restoring your entire system from scratch and then restore it from the latest backup. So a corrupt virtual system can be recovered in just mere minutes. Um, you do have easy cloning. Cloning a virtual machine takes just a few clicks and a matter of seconds, whereas cloning on a physical machine can be a serious undertaking. Virtualization provides you with a safe platform on which you can test various software configurations and on various platforms prior to deployment. So, in effect, you can tinker with the software until you get what you exactly want without inadvertently damaging your existing network. You do have better security and reliability. Virtualized systems do not crash due to the corruption like device drivers or memory issues. So let's look at challenges. Well, security, if you're moving applications from physical server to the public cloud, there are a number of security risks since your cloud servers will be hosted on virtual machines in a shared infrastructure. Virtual hypervisors are easier to harden against attack than an operating system, but there are still complex systems that offer a new target for attack, especially in the public cloud. DataPipe offers an ultra-secure cloud environment that is closely monitored to ensure security. With the potential downtime, while it's unlikely that your virtual resources will all fail at once, it can be more difficult to reboot virtual machines in the event of a catastrophic hardware failure. Virtual machines can power off, on and off, and just as easy as a physical machine, but a virtual machine coming online from a host crash will need to wait for the physical infrastructure to boot, plus the time it takes for your virtual machine to boot. The additional downtime may be outrageous, may not be outrageous, but it can add up. Likewise, you can have oversubscription. Almost all modern cloud environments are built on machines on physical hardware. Uh, and with that, then you can oversubscribe your virtual machine on the physical hardware. Essentially, if you have 5 virtual machines using 2 gig RAM, then on a physical machine with 8 gig of RAM, you're oversubscribed that hardware. Luckily, oversubscription does not mean overcapacity. Avoiding oversubscription on your virtual machines requires attention to the resource allocation to ensure that you're properly utilizing your virtual resources when they're needed. So there's a variety of different vendors for virtual machines. You've got VirtualBox, which we use a lot. It uses Windows, Linux, Mac OS X. VirtualBox is very popular because it's open source and completely free. There's no paid version of VirtualBox, so you don't have to deal with the usual upgrade to get more features type of thing. And with that, then it works well, particularly on Windows and Linux, where it's less competitive. It's a good place to start out. VMware Player runs on Windows and Linux, and it has its own line of virtual machine programs. You can use VMware Player on Windows or Linux as a free basic virtual machine tool. The more advanced features, many of which are found in VirtualBox for free, do require upgrading to the paid VMware Workstation program. With that, then you usually start out with VirtualBox, but it doesn't. If it doesn't work properly, then you may want to try out VMware Player. There's also VMware Fusion, and that runs on Mac OS 10. With that, Mac users will need to buy VMware Fusion to use the VMware product, as a free VMware Player isn't available for the Mac platform. However, VMware Fusion is more polished. Um, with that, then the parallel desktop for the Mac OS, um, they can it's available, and they have both the parallel desktop and VMware Fusion for the Mac are polished more than the virtual machine programs on other platforms. They are marketed to average Mac users who might want to run Windows software. Linux includes the KVM integrated virtualization solution. Um, Professional and enterprise version of Windows 8 and 8.1, but not 7, do include the Microsoft Hyper-V, which is another integrated solution. I hope that you found this information of value. I have listed the resource that goes in and discusses the different software that you can be using on a Mac platform, because I'm not that strong on the Mac end. I'll admit it. Most of my experiences with virtualization have been on the Windows and the Linux platform. I hope you've enjoyed it.